What if the secret to success wasn't talent or intelligence but the way you think about them in mindset? The new Psychology of Success, renowned psychologist Carol S.D. reveals a groundbreaking idea. Our beliefs about ability shape our achievements. Through decades of research, she uncovers the two mindsets that define our approach to life: the fixed mindset, where people believe their talents are unchangeable, and the growth mindset, where abilities are developed through effort and learning. DX and insights apply to everything: education, business, sports, relationships, and personal growth, with real-life examples of extraordinary individuals who have transformed their lives by adopting a growth mindset. She proves that success is not about being the smartest or most talented, but about embracing challenges, learning from failures, and never stopping growth. If you've ever doubted your potential, this book will change the way you think and unlock possibilities you never imagined. Chapter 1: The Mindsets People Hold. Different beliefs about their abilities. Some see intelligence and talent as fixed traits, while others believe that effort and learning shape one's abilities over time. These perspectives influence nearly every aspect of life, from success and failure to relationships and personal growth. Those who see abilities as unchangeable often seek validation of their skills rather than improvement. Challenges become threats, and failures feel like personal shortcomings rather than opportunities to grow. On the other hand, individuals who see abilities as flexible embrace challenges, persist through setbacks, and view failures as valuable learning experiences. Studies on school children reveal how these beliefs shape behavior. When given puzzles to solve, children who believe intelligence is fixed tend to choose easier problems to ensure success. They fear failure as it would suggest a lack of inherent ability. Conversely, those who see intelligence as something that can grow opt for more challenging problems. They welcome difficulty as a way to stretch their abilities and improve. The difference in these perspectives becomes even clearer when difficulties arise. Those with a fixed perspective often give up quickly, convinced they lack the necessary talent. Those with a flexible perspective remain motivated, eager to figure out solutions and strengthen their skills. The impact of these perspectives extends beyond education. In professional environments, individuals who believe in fixed ability tend to avoid situations where their competence might be questioned. They strive to appear talented rather than take risks that might lead to failure. This mindset limits their willingness to explore new ideas or improve. In contrast, those who believe in growth continuously seek opportunities to learn and expand their expertise. They are willing to step outside their comfort zones and push themselves, ultimately leading to greater achievement. Failures and setbacks provide insight into how people process challenges. Those with rigid beliefs about intelligence tend to blame external factors or their own inherent deficiencies. When faced with difficulties, their reaction is often defensive, as they want to protect their perceived competence. In contrast, those who believe in development analyze what went wrong, adjust their strategies, and try again. They see obstacles as temporary hurdles rather than permanent roadblocks. This mindset allows them to recover more quickly and ultimately achieve more. Feedback and criticism further highlight these differences. Those who believe intelligence is static take criticism personally, seeing it as an attack on their abilities. They may become defensive or dismissive, fearing that acknowledging a flaw would confirm their inadequacy. Those who believe in learning and improvement view feedback as useful information. They separate their abilities from their identity, making it easier to accept constructive criticism and use it to improve the way people perceived talent. Also plays a role in their approach to success. Many believe that great achievers are born with extraordinary abilities and that natural talent determines success. This belief can be discouraging because it suggests that only those who are naturally gifted can excel. However, those who view ability is something that can be cultivated recognize that even the most successful individuals have worked tirelessly to develop their skills. Hard work, perseverance, and a willingness to learn are the true drivers of success. These beliefs are often shaped from an early age. The way parents, teachers, and mentors praise children influences how They see their own intelligence praise that focuses on natural talent, such as telling a child they're smart. Reinforces the belief that intelligence is fixed. This kind of praise can make children hesitant to take on challenges, fearing that failure would contradict the label of being smart. On the other hand, praise that emphasizes effort, strategy, and perseverance fosters the belief that intelligence can grow. Children who receive this kind of encouragement are more likely to embrace challenges and persist through difficulties. The implications of these beliefs extend beyond personal achievement in relationships. Those who see personality and intelligence as unchangeable may struggle with conflict. They believe that a person's traits are set, making it difficult to see the potential for growth and change. This belief can make resolving conflicts challenging, as they assume problems in a relationship are permanent. Those who believe in development are more willing to work through issues, understanding that people can change and improve over time. They approach difficulties with an open mind, willing to adjust their own behavior and expectations. The transition from one perspective to another is possible. Recognizing that intelligence and ability are not fixed traits opens the door to new possibilities. Shifting from a rigid perspective to one that embraces growth requires an awareness of how these beliefs shape decisions. Once individuals begin to see challenges as opportunities and failures as learning experiences, they start to break free from limiting patterns. They begin to understand that effort and persistence lead to progress and that abilities develop over time. This shift in perspective affects motivation as well. Those who believe abilities can be developed are more likely to stay motivated even in difficult circumstances. They do not view failure as a reason to stop trying, but rather as a necessary part of progress. They understand that improvement takes time and effort, making them more resilient and persistent. In contrast, those who believe in fixed ability often lose motivation when they encounter difficulties, assuming that they have reached their limit. A willingness to learn from others further strengthens the ability to grow. Instead of feeling threatened by those who are more skilled, those who embrace development see them as sources of inspiration. They study their methods, ask questions, and apply what they learn to their own efforts. This approach accelerates improvement and opens doors to new opportunities. Rather than focusing on proving themselves, they focus on improving themselves. One of the most important aspects of adopting this perspective is understanding that change does not happen overnight. Shifting the way one thinks about intelligence and ability takes time and effort. However, once individuals recognize the patterns of thought that hold them back, they can begin to reframe their experiences. They can start challenging themselves more, taking setbacks in stride and continuously learning over time. These changes become habits, leading to greater achievements and fulfillment. By viewing intelligence and ability as something that can grow, people unlock their full potential. They take on challenges with confidence, persist through difficulties, and use feedback to improve. They no longer fear failure but embrace it as part of the journey. This transformation not only enhances personal success but also leads to greater satisfaction in all areas of life. Those who adopt this way of thinking are more likely to achieve their goals, build meaningful relationships, and continue developing throughout their lives. Chapter 2: Inside the Mindsets. Some people believe that their intelligence and abilities are fixed traits, while others understand that these qualities can be developed through effort and experience. This fundamental difference in perspective influences every aspect of life, shaping responses to challenges, setbacks, and opportunities for growth. When individuals see their abilities as carved in stone, they become overly concerned with proving themselves. Every task is an opportunity to validate their intelligence rather than a chance to learn. Mistakes are seen as personal failures, not as valuable learning experiences. As a result, they often avoid challenges that could reveal their limitations, preferring instead to stick to what they already know. In contrast, those who view abilities as malleable embrace challenges as opportunities to expand their skills. They see effort as a necessary path to mastery, rather than sign of weakness. When faced with obstacles, they persist rather than give up, understanding that struggle is a natural part of learning. This mindset allows them to improve and achieve more over time. The perception of failure is different as well. Instead of feeling defeated, they analyze what went wrong and use the experience to grow stronger. This leads to a greater willingness to take on difficult tasks, push beyond comfort zones, and ultimately reach higher levels of success. The way people respond to failure is a defining characteristic of how they view their abilities. Those who believe intelligence is fixed often experience failure as a blow to their identity. Instead of seeing mistakes as an opportunity to learn, they feel ashamed or helpless, believing that their intelligence has been exposed as inadequate to protect their self-image. They may blame others, make excuses, or even avoid future challenges altogether. In contrast, those who understand that intelligence can grow through effort view failure as an essential part of progress. Instead of personalizing mistakes, they ask themselves what can be learned and how they can improve. This difference in perception significantly impacts motivation, confidence, and long-term success. Studies have shown that when individuals are praised for their intelligence rather than their effort, they become more likely to develop a fixed mindset. Being told they are smart makes them want to continue appearing smart, leading them to avoid risks that could challenge that perception. On the other hand, those who are praised for their effort learn to associate success with hard work, making them more willing to take on difficult tasks. Encouraging a belief in personal development rather than inherent talent fosters resilience, perseverance, and a passion for learning. Even the way people approach learning and problem solving reveals their mindset. Those who believe in fixed intelligence often choose easier tasks to ensure success, reinforcing their self-worth. They may shy away from constructive criticism, seeing it as a personal attack rather than a tool for improvement. This resistance to feedback limits growth and keeps them from reaching their full potential. In contrast, individuals who see intelligence as expandable actively seek out challenges, embrace feedback, and use it to refine their abilities. They understand that even the most accomplished individuals continue learning and improving throughout their lives. The impact of these perspectives extends beyond academics or professional success. In relationships, those with a fixed mindset may struggle with conflict, believing that difficulties indicate fundamental incompatibility rather than an opportunity for growth. They may expect their relationships to be effortlessly perfect, and when problems arise, they assume something is inherently wrong. Conversely, those who approach relationships with a mindset of growth understand that successful partnerships require effort, communication, and adaptation. They see challenges as a way to strengthen their connections rather than as signs of failure. In professional settings, the way people handle setbacks and criticism determines their ability to grow and lead effectively. Leaders who believe in fixed intelligence may feel threatened by other success, avoiding collaboration or taking sole credit for achievements. They might shy away from taking risks for fear of failure, leading to stagnation in their careers. In contrast, those who embrace the idea that intelligence and abilities can be developed are more likely to support and uplift others, recognizing that collective growth benefits everyone. They are also more willing to innovate and experiment, understanding that failure is often a stepping stone to greater success. A fundamental misconception about ability is that it should not be necessary if someone is truly talented. This belief leads people to assume that struggling with a task means they lack the ability to succeed. In reality, effort is the key to mastery. Even the most successful individuals in any field have faced difficulties and setbacks. Their success is not due to innate talent alone, but to their willingness to work hard, learn from mistakes, and persist despite obstacles. Seeing effort as a crucial component of achievement rather than a sign of weakness transforms the way people approach challenges. When individuals understand that intelligence and ability can grow, they become more open to learning and self-improvement. They no longer feel the need to prove themselves constantly and instead focus on expanding their skills and knowledge. This shift in perspective leads to a lifelong love of learning and a resilience that allows them to face challenges with confidence instead of Fearing failure, they embrace it as an opportunity to improve rather than feeling limited by their perceived shortcomings. They take proactive steps to strengthen their abilities. Even those who have spent years believing in fixed intelligence can change their perspective, recognizing that ability is not static and that effort leads to improvement. Allows individuals to reframe their experiences. They can begin to seek out challenges rather than avoid them, accept constructive criticism without defensiveness, and persist through difficulties rather than giving up over time. This shift leads to greater success, confidence, and fulfillment in all areas of life. Understanding the difference between a fixed and a growth perspective transforms the way individuals approach learning, relationships, work, and personal challenges. By recognizing that intelligence and abilities are not set in stone, but can be developed through effort, people unlock their true potential. The ability to improve and grow is within everyone's reach, and adopting this belief leads to a more fulfilling and successful life. Chapter 3: The Truth About Ability and Accomplishment. People often assume that natural talent is the key to success, that some individuals are simply born gifted while others must settle for mediocrity. This belief shapes the way individuals approach their goals, influencing their motivation, perseverance, and willingness to confront challenges. However, this idea is misleading. Ability is not a fixed trait, but something that can be cultivated through effort, learning, and persistence. Those who achieve extraordinary success are not necessarily born with a greater advantage, rather they develop their skills over time through deliberate practice, resilience, and a mindset that embraces growth. A common misconception is that successful individuals are effortlessly talented, achieving greatness with minimal effort. This belief leads many to idolized figures in sports, music business, and academics, assuming their abilities stem from innate genius. In reality, even the most accomplished figures in various fields have struggled, faced setbacks, and worked tirelessly to improve. It is not talent alone that sets them apart, but rather their dedication to continuous learning and growth. The idea that talent alone leads to success discourages many from putting in the effort needed to reach their potential, making them believe that if they do not excel immediately, they never will. Effort plays a crucial role in the development of ability. Those who are willing to put in the work, seek out challenges, and persist in the face of failure ultimately surpass those who rely solely on natural talent. Many highly skilled individuals have demonstrated that their success was a result of consistent effort rather than an inborn gift. Learning is a process, and those who engage in it with curiosity and determination can achieve remarkable results. Struggles and failures are not indications of inability, rather they are signs of progress and opportunities for improvement. Those who believe that ability is static often avoid challenges that could expose their weaknesses. They fear failure because they see it as proof of inadequacy rather than as part of the learning process. This mindset limits their potential, keeping them from pushing beyond their current level of skill. On the other hand, those who view ability as something that can be developed actively seek challenges, knowing that each obstacle presents a chance to grow. They embrace constructive criticism and use it as a tool to refine their skills instead of feeling discouraged by setbacks. They see them as necessary steps on the path to mastery. The development of ability is influenced by how individuals perceive their own competence. When people are praised for being naturally talented rather than for their effort and progress, they become more focused on proving their worth rather than improving their skills. This creates a fragile sense of confidence that can be easily shattered when they encounter difficult ties. If they struggle, they may conclude that they are not as talented as they thought, leading them to give up rather than persist. On the other hand, those who are encouraged to see effort and learning as the path to success develop a stronger and more resilient sense of confidence. They understand that difficulties are not signs of failure but part of the process of achieving excellence. One of the key factors in developing ability is the willingness to take risks and step outside one's comfort zone. Those who achieve greatness are not afraid to make mistakes because they understand that mistakes are essential. For learning, they do not view failure as something to be avoided, but as something to be embraced. Each mistake provides valuable information that can be used to improve. In contrast, those who are afraid to fail often limit themselves, avoiding situations where they might struggle or look incompetent. This prevents them from gaining the experience needed to grow and improve. By taking on new challenges and pushing in themselves beyond their current limits, individuals can continually expand their abilities and reach higher levels of achievement. Another critical aspect of ability development is persistence. Many people give up when they do not see immediate results, assuming that they lack the necessary talent to succeed. However, those who persevere through difficulties, learning from their mistakes and adapting their strategies, ultimately achieve far more than those who expect instant success. True progress comes from sustained effort over time, even when results are not immediately visible. Consistent practice and dedication lead to long-term improvement. Those who keep going despite setbacks eventually surpass those who give up early. The influence of external factors also plays a significant role in shaping ability. The way people are treated by their teachers, mentors, and peers can either encourage or discourage their growth. When individuals are given opportunities to learn, challenged appropriately, and supported in their efforts, they develop a greater sense of capability. Environments that foster learning and resilience create individuals who are more likely to take on challenges and persist in their goals. Conversely, environments that emphasize natural talent and punish mistakes discourage risk-taking and growth. When mistakes are seen as failures rather than learning experiences, people become hesitant to push themselves beyond what they already know, creating a culture that values effort, persistence, and learning over immediate perfection leads to greater overall achievement. An important realization is that ability is not a fixed quantity that some have more than others. It is something that could be expanded through practice, learning, and persistence. Those who approach life with the belief that they can improve tend to accomplish far more than those who believe their skills are predetermined. The most successful individuals are those who continually challenge themselves, remain open to learning, and refuse to be limited by the belief that they are only as capable as they were yesterday. By shifting the focus from proving ability to developing it, anyone can unlock their full potential and achieve levels of success they never thought possible. Chapter 4: Sports, the mindset of a champion. Great athletes are not born, they're made through effort, discipline, and an unshakable belief in improvement. There are those who believe that talent alone defines a champion, but reality proves otherwise. The ability to reach the highest levels in sports is not dictated by genetics or natural gifts, but by a mindset that welcomes challenges and embraces hard work. Those who rise to the top in athletics are the ones who understand that failure is not a sign of inadequacy but a stepping stone to mastery. From the earliest days of competition, there have been individuals who stood out not because they were necessarily the most gifted, but because they refused to let obstacles deter them. One of the most striking examples is an athlete who was initially deemed too average for greatness. Early in his career, he was cut from his team, a devastating blow that could have convinced him that he lacked what it took. Instead, he used that setback as motivation to work harder than anyone else. He practiced relentlessly, perfecting his skills beyond what others thought possible. He understood that skill was not static, but something that could be cultivated. Over time, his commitment transformed him into one of the greatest players in history. His name became synonymous with excellence, proving that effort and determination, not just raw ability, shape champions. The world of sports is filled with similar examples. There are those who reached the top not because of immediate success, but because of their response to failure. A young golfer, despite having remarkable talent, was known for his relentless practice sessions. Every defeat on the course led him back to training with a greater sense of purpose. While some viewed setbacks as indications of personal shortcomings, he saw them as lessons. He meticulously analyzed every mistake, refining his techniques, and mental strategies until they became second nature. This approach eventually propelled him to dominance. His consistency and resilience setting him apart from those who relied solely on natural ability. Another story illustrates the difference in perspective between those who view talent as fixed and those who believe in continuous growth. A rising tennis star, despite early struggles, understood that victory was a result of adaptation. Instead of fearing opponents with superior skills, he studied their strengths and weaknesses, reshaping his game to counter their strategies. While others crumbled under pressure, he thrived in difficult moments, using setbacks as fuel for progress. His mental toughness became his defining trait, showing that the most successful athletes are not those who avoid failure but those who learn from it and come back stronger. In contrast, there are those who possess extraordinary natural ability but fail to reach their full potential because they rely solely on their gifts. Early success often leads them to believe that they do not need to exert effort to maintain their standing. They avoid situations where they might struggle, preferring to stay in their comfort zones. The moment they encounter real difficulty, they falter. They attribute their failures to external factors rather than recognizing their own need for growth. Over time, those who depend entirely on their talent are surpassed by those who work tirelessly to improve. The lesson is clear: talent may provide an advantage, but without the willingness to develop and refine skills, it is ultimately meaningless. Coaches and mentors play a crucial role in shaping the mindset of athletes. Those who encourage players to embrace challenges, persist through difficulties, and view effort as the key to success create environments where growth flourishes. Training programs designed around constant improvement rather than immediate results help athletes build resilience. They learned that the most important competitions are not won in the moment, but in the countless hours of preparation that precede them. When setbacks occur, the right guidance ensures that athletes do not see failure as a sign of inadequacy, but as an opportunity to learn and refine their abilities. Mental resilience is as important as physical skill. The most successful competitors develop a mindset that allows them to stay focused even when things are not going their way. They understand that pressure is not something to fear but something to embrace. They thrive in moments when others collapse, not because they are immune to stress but because they have trained their minds to respond positively to adversity. They do not allow a single defeat to define them but use every experience, whether good or bad, to fuel their journey forward. Even among teams, the mindset of individual players determines the collective success of the group. A team filled with individuals who believe in constant improvement and push each other to be better achieves far greater results than one that relies solely on star players. Those who uplift their teammates, encourage effort, and foster a culture of growth create an atmosphere where success becomes inevitable. In contrast, teams that focus only on raw talent and quick results often crumble when faced with real challenges. The importance of a long-term perspective cannot be overstated. Many young athletes focus only on immediate success, fearing any sign of struggle. However, those who understand that mastery is a process accept difficulties as part of their journey. They recognize that failure is not an endpoint but a stepping stone. The greatest athletes of all time did not reach their status by avoiding obstacles, but by using every challenge as an opportunity to refine their skills. Those who maintain this perspective continue to improve long after others have given up. The lessons from elite athletes extend beyond sports. The same principles apply to any field where excellence is pursued. Those who succeed are not necessarily the most talented at the start, but those who embrace the process of learning, adapt to challenges, and remain committed to growth. The mindset that champions cultivate, one of effort, resilience, and continuous improvement, is what ultimately sets them apart. Chapter 5: Business Mindset and Leadership. Success in business is not simply a matter of intelligence, talent, or even experience. It is rooted in how individuals and organizations perceive growth, effort, and failure. Many believe that business leaders are born with an innate ability to manage people, and make high-stakes decisions, but this is a dangerous misconception. The most effective leaders are those who understand that skills and intelligence can be developed. They cultivate a mindset that fosters continuous learning, resilience, and adaptability, rather than one that prioritizes proving superiority over others. Many corporations and executives fall into a pattern where they seek validation rather than growth. This can be seen in environments where leaders surround themselves with those who offer constant praise rather than critical feedback. A fear of failure prevents risk-taking and innovation, leading to stagnation. Organizations with such leadership structures often struggle with long-term sustainability because they prioritize short-term success and maintaining appearances over long-term learning and adaptation. When companies focus solely on hiring people they perceive as naturally talented rather than those with a willingness to develop and learn, they often find themselves with a workforce resistant to growth and change. One of the defining traits of an effective business leader is the ability to embrace challenges rather than shy away from them. Leaders who believe that abilities are developed over time actively seek feedback even when it is uncomfortable. Instead of seeing criticism as a personal attack, they view it as a tool for growth. Those who fear being wrong or making mistakes often create toxic environments where employees are afraid to take initiative, leading to missed opportunities and a lack of innovation. In contrast, leaders who encourage learning, acknowledge mistakes, and adapt quickly foster a culture where employees feel empowered to experiment and improve. Consider an environment where employees are only rewarded for success rather than effort and learning. In such settings, individuals will likely take the safest path to avoid failure, resulting in minimal creativity and progress. Conversely, workplaces that recognize and celebrate learning encourage employees to tackle ambitious projects, develop new skills, and strive for excellence. This kind of culture creates an organization that is not only competitive but also resilient in the face of economic shifts and market challenges. A crucial factor in long-term business success is how companies respond to setbacks. Many organizations crumble when faced with failure because they interpret it as proof of incompetence rather than as an opportunity to refine strategies and processes. The most successful companies are those that analyze failures, extract lessons, and implement changes accordingly. Businesses that punish employees for mistakes instead of using them as teaching moments create a risk-averse culture where no one wants to take responsibility or innovate. Leadership that fosters a culture of growth and adaptability is essential for an organization's success. Companies that emphasize learning over ego ensure that their employees and executives are focused on improvement rather than mere validation. A leader's response to challenges, setbacks, and criticism sets the tone for the entire organization. When leaders demonstrate that effort and persistence matter more than innate talent, employees adopt the same mindset, leading to a more dynamic and successful company. The difference between a thriving company and a failing one often lies in whether its leaders believe that skills and abilities are fixed or that they can be developed. Leaders who think talent is fixed tend to create rigid hierarchies where only a select few are considered capable of making meaningful contributions. This discourages creativity, innovation, and risk-taking. On the other hand, leaders who foster an environment of learning ensure that employees at all levels are encouraged to grow, experiment, and contribute to the company's success. An organization's long-term prosperity depends on how it handles hiring, training, and development. Companies that look for employees who are eager to learn and adapt rather than just those with impressive credentials tend to perform better over time. When hiring is based solely on past achievements rather than potential for growth, businesses risk creating a stagnant workforce resistant to change. The best companies prioritize employees who are willing to learn from failures, seek feedback, and embrace new challenges. Performance evaluation within a company also reflects the underlying mindset of its leadership. Companies that focus only on end results without considering effort and growth Discourage employees from taking on difficult tasks if only immediate success is rewarded. Employees may resort to playing it safe rather than pushing boundaries. Organizations that assess progress holistically, considering effort, learning, and adaptability, create an environment where employees feel safe to innovate and take risks. One of the most detrimental attitudes in business is the belief that great leaders must always appear strong and infallible. This need to maintain an image of perfection leads to poor decision-making, as leaders may refuse to acknowledge mistakes or consider alternative perspectives. Effective leaders, in contrast, are comfortable admitting when they are wrong and use failures as a means of growth. They encourage debate, welcome differing opinions, and adapt based on feedback. Corporate culture is deeply shaped by leadership attitudes. When leaders foster a growth-oriented environment, employees are encouraged to collaborate, share ideas, and work toward collective success rather than individual validation. This results in higher morale, increased productivity, and a more innovative organization. Conversely, when leaders emphasize status and power over development, the workplace becomes a battleground of competition rather than cooperation. True business success is built on a foundation of continuous improvement and adaptability. Companies that encourage their employees to develop new skills and face challenges head-on tend to outperform those that focus solely on maintaining an image of success. A company's growth is directly tied to whether its leadership values learning or simply proving superiority. The difference between good companies and great ones is often found in they handle adversity. Organizations that thrive in difficult times are those that see setbacks as learning opportunities rather than failures. When leadership prioritizes personal and professional development, employees are more likely to innovate and take calculated risks, leading to long-term growth and success. A company's ability to remain competitive in a rapidly changing world depends on its willingness to embrace new ideas and approaches. Businesses that are overly reliant on a single formula for success eventually find themselves falling behind. Those that continuously evolve, experiment, and adapt to changing circumstances are the ones that succeed over time. Effective leadership is about creating a culture where everyone is encouraged to learn, take risks, and grow. Leaders who recognize the value of effort and persistence over innate ability build companies that stand the test of time. The most successful businesses are those that foster resilience, creativity, and a commitment to continuous learning at every level of the organization. Chapter 6: Relationships Mindsets. In love or not, people approach relationships with different perspectives, and these perspectives shape how they handle love, conflict, and growth. Some believe that relationships are about finding a perfect match where everything falls into place naturally. When problems arise, they see them as evidence of fundamental incompatibility. Others see relationships as dynamic, requiring effort, communication, and adaptation. These different perspectives influence everything from how conflicts are handled to how intimacy develops over time. One perspective assumes that if love is meant to be, it should come effortlessly. Individuals with this view believe that the right partner will instinctively understand them, fulfilling their emotional needs without the need for discussion or adjustment. When disagreements occur, they interpret them as signs that something is inherently wrong rather than as opportunities for understanding and growth. This belief leads to frustration, disappointment, and often the premature end of relationships. Another way of thinking sees love as something that grows through mutual effort. These individuals recognize that all relationships encounter difficulties and that navigating these difficulties together strengthens the bond. They do not see conflict as a personal attack or an indication that love is lacking, but as a natural part of being with another person. Rather than avoiding problems, they seek to understand their partner's perspective and find solutions together. Instead of expecting immediate harmony, they view love as is a journey that deepens over time. People who believe in effortless relationships often struggle with feedback. They see criticism as proof that they are not good enough or that their partner does not truly love Them because of this they become defensive or withdraw fearing rejection. They may assume that if they have to work on the relationship, something must be fundamentally flawed. This mindset prevents growth and fosters resentment as one or both partners feel unheard or misunderstood. In contrast, those who see relationships as opportunities for growth understand that feedback is not an attack but a way to improve. They are willing to listen to concerns, adjust their behavior, and communicate openly about their own needs. This does not mean they tolerate mistreatment, but they do not expect perfection. Instead, they focus on developing mutual understanding and emotional resilience. They're more likely to feel secure because they know that challenges can be worked through rather than being signals of doom. Jealousy and insecurity are also affected by these perspectives. Those who believe in effortless love often see their partner's interest in others as a direct threat. If love is supposed to be easy, any attraction outside the relationship must mean that something is missing. This can lead to possessiveness, accusations, and even self-sabotage. Instead of addressing underlying insecurities, they seek constant reassurance or attempt to control their partner's behavior, which often pushes the partner further away. Those who believe in growth-based relationships understand that attraction is complex and does not automatically undermine commitment. Rather than reacting with fear, they communicate about their insecurities and focus on strengthening the connection with their partner. They understand that trust is built over time through consistent actions and open conversations. They do not see their partner's independence as a threat, but as an important part of a healthy relationship. Breakups are another area where these perspectives lead to vastly different experiences. Those who believe love should be effortless often struggle deeply with rejection, seeing it as proof of their own unworthiness. If a relationship ends, they may believe they are unlovable or doomed to be alone. They might avoid relationships in the future to protect themselves from further pain or seek perfection in the next partner to avoid experiencing disappointment again. For those who see relationships is a process of learning and growth, breakups are painful but not defining. They understand that a relationship ending does not mean they are unworthy of love, but that compatibility. They reflect on what went wrong, learn from the experience, and carry those lessons into future relationships instead of blaming themselves or their partner entirely. They see breakups as a natural part of life and an opportunity to understand themselves better. The way people handle success and happiness in relationships also differs. Some believe that their partner's happiness is their responsibility and that they must always be perfect to keep the relationship strong. This pressure can lead to resentment and exhaustion, as no one can meet every need of another person at all times. They may feel unappreciated when their efforts go unnoticed or assume their partner does not love them if they are not constantly expressing affection. Others understand that happiness is a shared responsibility but not an obligation placed solely on one person. They recognize that their partner has their own emotional world and that fulfillment comes from both individual and shared experiences. They do not expect constant validation but instead create a relationship based on mutual support and realistic expectations. They focus on maintaining a balance between their personal identity and their role as a partner, leading to a healthier and more sustainable connection. Overcoming past trauma and negative relationship patterns is also influenced by these perspectives. Some carry wounds from childhood or previous relationships and believe they are incapable of love or that others will inevitably hurt them. They may avoid deep connections to protect themselves or seek partners who reinforce negative patterns, feeling trapped in cycles of dysfunction. Those who see relationships as opportunities for growth acknowledge their past pain but do not allow it to define their future. They actively work on understanding their triggers, communicating their fears, and choosing partners who support their healing rather than perpetuate harm. Instead of assuming they are broken, they focus on building emotional resilience and fostering relationships that encourage mutual well-being. Even in long-term relationships, these perspectives shape the way partners interact. Some believe that once love is established, it should remain strong without effort they may take their partner for granted, assuming that commitment alone is enough to sustain passion and connection. When excitement fades or conflicts arise, they feel confused and may blame their partner for not living up to their expectations. Those who approach love as is a continuous process of growth understand that maintaining a strong relationship requires ongoing attention. They nurture emotional intimacy by engaging in meaningful conversations, showing appreciation, and being present in each other's lives. They know that relationships evolve and that adaptation is necessary to keep the connection alive. Instead of seeking constant excitement or blaming their partner for boredom, they created experiences that strengthen their bond over time. Trust is another critical element shaped by these perspectives. Some assume that trust should be automatic and once broken cannot be repaired. If their partner makes a mistake, they see it as an irreversible betrayal, leading to resentment and distance. They may become overly suspicious, constantly looking for signs of deception, which ultimately damages the relationship further. Others see trust as something that is built and rebuilt through honesty, consistency, and effort. They do not ignore betrayals, but they also do not assume that mistakes define a person entirely. They focus on open communication and setting clear boundaries to restore trust when necessary. They understand that relationships require work and that trust, like love, is a process that deepens with time and effort. Ultimately, the way people view relationships determines their experiences within them. Those who believe in effortless love often struggle with disappointment, insecurity, and frustration, while those who see relationships as a journey of growth find deeper fulfillment and resilience. Love is not about finding perfection, but about creating a connection that thrives through effort, understanding, and continuous learning. Chapter 7: Parents, Teachers, and Coaches. How to create a growth mindset in a world where parents, teachers, and coaches play pivotal roles in shaping children's lives. The way they approach mindset can have profound effects on a child's development and success. The focus is on fostering a growth mindset, which emphasizes the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This contrasts sharply with a fixed mindset where individuals see their talents and intelligence as static and unchangeable. By understanding how to cultivate a growth mindset in children, adults can empower the next generation to embrace challenges, learn from failures, and strive for continuous improvement. The journey begins with the awareness that children are highly impressionable and often mirror the attitudes of those around them. Parents, teachers, and coaches hold significant influence over how children perceive their abilities. One key lesson is the importance of the language used when giving feedback. When praise is focused on innate talent or intelligence, it can inadvertently promote a fixed mindset. For example, telling a child "you're so smart" can lead them to believe that their intelligence is a fixed trait. This might cause them to avoid challenges for fear of failure, thinking they need to always prove their intelligence. Conversely, when children are praised for their effort and strategies, such as saying "you worked really hard on this," they're more likely to develop a growth mindset. This encourages them to embrace challenges and persist in face of difficulties in various educational settings. The impact of mindset is evident. Teachers who promote a growth mindset in the classroom create an environment where mistakes are seen as learning opportunities rather than failures. For instance, in a classroom where children are encouraged to ask questions and explore various solutions, students learn that perseverance and effort lead to mastery. Teachers can foster this environment by modeling their own learning processes, sharing their struggles, and showing how they overcame obstacles. Provides a valuable lesson to students. When children see that even their teachers encounter challenges, they understand that setbacks are part of the learning journey. Coaching in sports also highlights the significance of mindset. Coaches who emphasize effort over innate talent inspire their athletes to push their limits and improve their skills. For instance, a coach who recognizes a player's hard work and dedication regardless of the game's outcome reinforces the idea that success is a result of Effort by providing constructive feedback and focusing on what athletes can do to improve coaches. Instill a growth mindset that encourages resilience and a love for the sport. This approach not only enhances performance but also fosters a positive team culture where players support one another in their growth journeys. Real-life examples of individuals who embraced a growth mindset illustrate these PR principles in action. A renowned artist, once faced with rejection and criticism, did not succumb to despair. Instead, she viewed each critique as an opportunity to learn and grow. Through hard work and perseverance, she honed her craft and eventually gained recognition for her unique style. This story serves as a powerful reminder that success often comes from resilience and a commitment to improvement rather than innate talent alone. Parents play a crucial role in developing a child's mindset. Encouraging children to take on challenges and praising their efforts can significantly impact their self-esteem and motivation. For example, when a child struggles with a difficult math problem, a parent who offers support and emphasizes the importance of persistence reinforces a growth mindset by showing belief in their child's ability to improve through effort. Parents help children build confidence and resilience. As children grow, the influence of peers becomes more pronounced. Creating an environment where collaboration and support are encouraged can enhance a growth mindset among friends. Children can learn from one another, share strategies, and celebrate each other's progress. This camaraderie fosters a culture of learning and growth where children are inspired to push their boundaries and challenge themselves collectively. Ultimately, the journey toward fostering a growth mindset requires patience and consistency. Adults must be mindful of their own mindsets and how they communicate with children. By modeling a growth mindset in their own lives, parents, teachers, and coaches can create a ripple effect that influences the next generation. This journey is not just about achieving success in academics or sports, but about instilling a lifelong love of learning and resilience in the face of challenges. In this nurturing environment, children learn that effort matters and that setbacks are part of the journey. The true measure of success is not the absence of failure, but the ability to rise after falling. By encouraging curiosity, embracing challenges, and celebrating growth, adults can empower children to reach their full potential. The legacy of fostering a growth mindset transcends individual achievement, shaping a generation that values perseverance, adaptability, and a lifelong commitment to learning. Through these insights, the transformative power of a growth mindset becomes clear. By shifting the focus from innate talent to the process of learning, adults can help children develop a mindset that will serve them well throughout their lives. As they navigate the challenges of education, sports, and relationships, the lessons learned will guide them toward becoming resilient, lifelong learners. In doing so, they will not only achieve personal success but also contribute positively to the world around them. Chapter 8: Changing Mindsets. Changing mindsets is a transformative journey that begins with self-awareness and a willingness to embrace growth. The first step is recognizing when a fixed mindset surfaces. Individuals often encounter situations that trigger defensive reactions, moments of failure, criticism, or challenges that seem daunting. In these instances, it becomes essential to pause and reflect on one's thoughts and feelings. This process of self-reflection helps identify when the fixed mindset takes over, allowing individuals to acknowledge their emotional responses without judgment. Once awareness is established, the next step is to reframe challenges. Instead of viewing difficulties as threats to one's intelligence or abilities, individuals can learn to see them as opportunities for growth and development. This shift in perspective requires a conscious effort to change how one thinks about obstacles. When faced with the challenge, the phrase "I can't do this" can be transformed into "I can't do this." Yet this small yet powerful change in wording not only fosters resilience but also opens up pathways for learning and improvement. The journey of changing mindsets also involves embracing the process of learning. It is vital to cultivate an appreciation for effort and the journey toward mastery, Rather than fixating solely on the end result, recognizing that mastery takes time and dedication. Encourages a love for learning. When individuals focus on the process, they become more engaged in their endeavors and more willing to persist through challenges, each step taken regardless of outcome. Contributes to growth and understanding. Moreover, surrounding oneself with a supportive environment plays critical role in fostering a growth mindset. This support can come from mentors, friends, or family who encourage risk-taking and reinforce the idea that failure is a natural part of the learning process. It is essential to seek out relationships that nurture a growth mindset, as these connections can provide motivation and inspiration. Sharing experiences, learning together, and offering constructive feedback can create a community that thrives on growth. Another significant aspect of changing mindsets involves embracing feedback rather than viewing criticism as a personal attack. Individuals can learn to see it as a valuable tool for growth. Feedback provides insights that can illuminate areas for improvement, guiding individuals toward greater success. It is essential to approach feedback with an open mind, welcoming constructive criticism as an opportunity to refine skills and expand knowledge. This approach encourages continuous improvement and reinforces the belief that learning is an ongoing journey. Additionally, setting specific and achievable goals is crucial in the process of changing mindsets. Goals should be designed to challenge individuals while remaining realistic. By breaking larger goals into smaller, manageable steps, individuals can track their progress and celebrate small victories along the way. This incremental approach not only builds confidence but also reinforces the understanding that success is the result of sustained effort and perseverance. Resilience is another key component of changing mindsets. Life will inevitably present setbacks and challenges, but how individuals respond to these obstacles is what truly matters. Embracing resilience involves developing the ability to bounce back from failure and view it as a learning experience instead of succumbing to frustration or despair. Individuals can cultivate a mindset that sees setbacks as temporary and surmountable. This resilience fosters an enduring commitment to personal growth, encouraging individuals to persist in the face of adversity. Moreover, it is vital to recognize that changing mindsets is not a one-time event but a lifelong process. Mindset development requires ongoing effort and dedication. Individuals must remain vigilant in their self-reflection, continuously assessing their thoughts and beliefs. They should strive to maintain a growth mindset in all areas of life, whether personal pursuits, professional endeavors, or relationships. This commitment to lifelong learning ensures that individuals remain adaptable and open to new experiences. To further solidify a growth mindset, practicing self-compassion is essential. Individuals often face harsh self-criticism when they encounter failure or challenges. By treating themselves with kindness and understanding, they can reduce the impact of negative thoughts and foster a more supportive internal dialogue. Self-compassion encourages individuals to recognize their humanity and accept that making mistakes is a natural part of growth. This practice creates a healthier mindset that prioritizes learning over perfection. Additionally, incorporating mindfulness practices can enhance the journey of changing mindsets. Mindfulness encourages individuals to stay present and aware of their thoughts, allowing them to identify fixed mindset tendencies as they arise. By cultivating mindfulness, individuals can create space between their thoughts and reactions, enabling them to respond more thoughtfully and intentionally. This practice enhances emotional regulation and empowers individuals to approach challenges with a clearer perspective. As individuals embark on the path of changing their mindsets, they may encounter resistance both internally and externally. It is not uncommon to face skepticism from others who may be entrenched in a fixed mindset themselves. However, remaining steadfast in the commitment to growth can inspire those around them to reconsider their own beliefs. By exemplifying the benefits of a growth mindset, individuals can create a ripple effect, encouraging others to embrace change and improvement. Finally, Celebrating progress is a vital aspect of this journey, acknowledging achievements, no matter how small. Reinforces the belief that effort leads to success. This practice encourages individuals to maintain their motivation and commitment to personal growth by recognizing the milestones along the way. Individuals can foster a positive relationship with their journey, reinforcing the understanding that growth is not merely about reaching a destination but enjoying the process of self. In summary, changing mindsets involves a multifaceted approach that begins with self-awareness and a willingness to embrace growth. By reframing challenges, cultivating a love for learning, seeking supportive environments, embracing feedback, setting achievable goals, building resilience, and practicing self-compassion, individuals can successfully navigate the path toward a growth mindset. This journey is lifelong, requiring ongoing commitment and dedication, but the rewards of personal growth, resilience, and success are well worth the effort. Each step taken toward changing one's mindset unlocks new possibilities, fostering a life of continual learning and achievement. 4.